So let's first talk about the Type 32 freestyle contest, which was in Atlanta that you won.
Yes.
Can you kind of explain like what that was, how you got involved in that, and then like kind of what comes next for that?
Okay, so the Type 32, I've been recording at Patchwork Studio since like 2015. So the Type 32 is pretty much an event that they do where I think it was like 12 artists this time. They all entered the contest, and we got a day to write 32 bars, which is pretty much, you know, 2 16-bar verses. Had less than a day to write it. I actually wrote mine in like 45 minutes. But had less than a day to write it, and we came in there and we recorded in 15 minutes. And whatever you had done then, that was it. So it kind of like tested, you know, your abilities, because anybody can go write a verse, but is it going to be a good verse in that amount of time? So I'll be honest with you, I put everything I had into it. Like, you know, I was kind of at a point, I was questioning a lot of things with the music and my life, and I just told myself I was going to go in there and put everything I had into it. So I put what I was going through at the time in the freestyle, talked about my mom and my dad, and I went in there and recorded in 15 minutes, and they were like blown away. Like the guy in there, he was like, man, that voice you got. He was like, you got something, bro. And he was like, don't quit. And when he said that, it kind of hit me, because I was just thinking about like stepping back from music, because the things that were happening at the time just got overwhelming. And you know, I was at a point where I was like, maybe I need to step back and breathe. Not for good, but just for a second. And he was like, don't quit, bro. Like, it's going to catch. And when he said that, I just knew, like, that moment, it was meant for me to be there, and it was meant for me to win. And I won, you know? So it was cool. It was a good experience.
So that's great. So did they kind of share the work that you did, or, like, kind of help get the word out about you?
Yeah. So I got, I have, like, a month, like a promotional thing going with Patchwork, and Patchwork's on the rise. Like, I think their social media and their marketing right now is bigger than it's ever been. So it's really a good time for me to actually do what I'm doing, and winning in Atlanta, especially there. I think like J. Cole was recording like 3 days before when I went in there the last time to record my single. And yeah, they've done a lot for me as far as like social media marketing, like email blasts, like just getting me out there on Twitter, and just my name attached to their company has been big for me. And you know, I like the people there. You know, shout out to Oz and Toya and Luke and Kenny and all those guys. I love them.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
basically, like, this is the studio that you work with, and then have you been working with them for a long time? And was the competition just between people in the studio, or could anyone enter?
See, anyone can enter. So it was I met a guy named I forget his name. Sorry, I met him in the lobby, and I think he was from somewhere else. So all the artists weren't from Atlanta. It was artists from everywhere. So yeah, it was cool. I liked it. Like, it was fun. It was my first time doing it, and going in there like with the lights on you and like kind of under pressure in a way. It was fun. It was cool.
So it's different, obviously, than when you go in there with like something written down where you can kind of do a few takes and stuff like that.
Yeah. I usually can take my time. I have a 4-hour block or a 6-hour block, but yeah, you had to go in there on the spot and just kill it. So it was challenging. I mean, Preston and Taylor were there, and like I kind of, you know, I challenged myself, you know, as an artist, and to see if I could perform in front of that kind of pressure, like on the spot. And you know, I got it done. That's cool.
Cool, awesome. So let's go back to the beginning. So
Okay.
kind of talk about who you are and where you're from, and what's brought you into a life of music, and what kind of makes you have this passion that you want to share with other people.
I'm Channing Ellis. I go by the Mance. A lot of people ask me like, the Mance, like they think it sounds cool, but they don't know where I got it from. So like my mom used to do this little thing with me when I was a kid, and she used to be like, Channing, who's the man? And I used to like point to myself. So I got it from my mom, and I kind of put it together, and like it just became, it was the man Channing Ellis, and then I said it as the Mance, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and I think it represents me, like who I am. I'm not really for all the making up rap names like Lil whoever, Lil this, Lil that. I'm not really for that. But yeah, I'm from Tallahassee, Alabama. I came here, I moved to Auburn, and like to paint a picture, like 4 years ago, I was really sitting at my house and I was writing on a notepad, and I was kind of dreaming about like putting a song out. Like my exact thought process was, I want to put a song out that the DJs can play in the bar. I want to, you know, meet the DJs. I want to perform on stage in Auburn. I want people to know that I do music here. And this is 4 years ago. This is before I went to Atlanta to record, before I did anything. I was just writing like you know, getting back to my roots. I've been writing music since I was 13 years old. So I'm doing that, and it's all in my head. And like, fast forward to now, I put some music out from my hometown. I came to Auburn and I met Chris Till, I met Ben Brood, I met DJ Q Money, I met DJ Bluff City, DJ Lee. I know all the DJs now. And Ben played my track first, and Chris Till played my track. So I went to Atlanta and recorded a song that did play in the bars, just like I wanted to. I met the DJs, and man, you like fast forward to now, like I'm on stage at Sky Bar, like with Blackberry Breeze in front of like 2,000 people. And it's like, what? It's like I was, like I was really just sitting on the couch, like pretty much dreaming about doing that. And then it's like, it's all like in a blink of an eye. Then I'm on stage, like, what is going on right now? And now I'm here, you know? It's like, yeah, exactly. I really can't, like, just to be here is like crazy, you know?
So who's kind of like helped you along the way, helped push you? You said that even in that competition, you felt like you kind of had to challenge yourself, but who kind of makes you want to live up to higher expectations for yourself, and also like who in the music industry just inspires you?
I'll be honest, like artist-wise, like I love J. Cole, I love Drake. Like those guys, like that's my idols. What inspires me to do it, my dad used to always rap to me. My granddad was in a band, so I was always around music. So obviously my family. Like my family is 100% supportive of everything that I do. Like every time I have an accomplishment, like, congratulations, like we're so proud of you. So that means a lot to me. Like I do it for my family. And my friends, like those guys that are in there, like this experience right now, that everything that we're doing with music, we've came so far, I just want to like show them, like even when this ends, that they can like do whatever they want to do. You know, I know this isn't going to last forever, and it's just something special that a lot of people don't get to be, they're not a part of. And I just want them, man, when it's over with, just to, you know, live their lives and like they can accomplish anything, because we brought this from the ground. Like we didn't have anything, you know, we didn't have fans. We made everybody believe in what we're doing. And I think I mean, as far as I know, I'm one of the first rappers to ever do it here in Auburn. So that was my goal. You know, I want to be like the first rapper to actually make it to that level and come out of Auburn. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So like, what is something that you've enjoyed throughout your experience that's kind of made you want to create more music? I know you were saying earlier that there was kind of a time where you were kind of ready to take a step back and maybe see what else was going on in your life, but what's kind of made you, like, what always brings you back?
I thought about that the other day. I think I was talking to my buddy, and at that point where I was thinking about like taking a step back, I'd forgot why I started doing it in the first place. And it was to write about my life and like what I've experienced, because I think the reason I wanted to be an artist because I feel like I have a unique story. And I feel like I can relate to a lot of people. If I didn't, then, you know, really wouldn't be a point for me. So I had to really get back and ask myself, why are you really doing music? Because you can get caught up in like people knowing that you do music, or knowing who the Mance is, or you perform at Sky Bar, and you kind of get caught up in it in a way, and I did. So I really started writing about my life, and I had to remind myself that that's why I do music, and that's what really does it for me, is to write about my life. Just like I was speaking about the freestyle, I really just put it all out there, like this is the real me in this freestyle, and either you like it or you don't. And when I do that, people love it, you know? So that's it for me, man, just writing about my life in general. I love it.
So what have been some of your favorite projects in the past, and what do you have to look forward to? What are some projects you're excited about? I
think, like mine personally, like the first big project that we done was Switch It Up. And Switch It Up, I knew when I dropped Switch It Up, it was special because Kenny Mix at Patchwork Studios, when he first heard it, he called us at like 2 a.m. and he was like, man, like y'all got a hit. And I was like chilling on the couch. I didn't even know that he had called Preston. So we all went outside, and Kenny was like so excited. And mind you, this is a guy that when I first went to Patchwork Studios in 2015, I seen like his name on the wall. And I was like, man, I wish I could work with Kenny Mix, you know? And I didn't even know him. And then fast forward, then he's calling me at 2 a.m. like, hey man, you got a hit song. And I'm like, what? Like, it's Kenny Mix. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, oh yeah, Switch It Up. Yeah, when I dropped Switch It Up, like, I just felt that it was gonna be big, and everybody loved it. And shout out to Ben Brood, because he got it played in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Like, I was there for the Auburn-Arkansas game, and I walk into the stadium and sit down with my buddy Mike, and like I hear like I had to switch it up like I used, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy, you know. But so he played it in the stadium, and then I think Carlton played it behind. Well, I know he played it behind the Tiger Walk video in the Auburn-Arkansas game. So that was one of my biggest projects, and still is probably my biggest project. I love it. I even went back home at one of my little cousin's birthday parties, and they're like 14, and I did like this guest appearance, and like all of them knew the words to the song. And I was like, what? This is like 14-year-olds know the words to that song? It's wild.
That's so much fun.
Yeah.
And so what do you have coming up that you're most excited about? What do you like see coming quickly or coming farther down the road?
I think my biggest thing in my mind right now is this show. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'll just say that I have a big show coming up. We haven't signed the contract yet, so I don't want to speak too soon. But yeah, knock on wood. But I feel like if I get this show in April, I think it's gonna elevate a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
And so you talked about obviously your involvement in Auburn a little bit, getting in touch with the local DJs and stuff. So how do you feel the Auburn community has kind of helped you in your career and helped you grow as an artist? I
feel like this is a good place to get started. I never like, a lot of people think that it is, if you speak of artists, it's majority country artists, and there are big artists like Muscadine Bloodline that have came out here. Like, I don't think Riley Green's from here, but I've seen Riley Green perform at 1716. Auburn is a good place. I mean, it's a college town. Like, a lot of students like cycle out of here, and if you can get a buzz here, then you can go places. And Auburn's been great to me, just like this. You know, the resources here and the people that I've worked with, like, they've been good to me, you know, and I try to do the same for them.
And so what do you think that you want people to like know about you and your creative style and what they can kind of expect from you in the future?
I want people to know that everything I do with the music is genuinely me, you know, and the people that I choose to work with, like all the DJs, like it is genuine love. And I try to like pick the people that are in the city, like my friend group and the people around me that are really driven and trying to do something. I try to take them and I try to make something bigger out of it, you know, because that's the goal. Like, I want it to be big, and somebody has to have that vision. So I want them to know like everything I do with the music is genuinely because that's my passion, you know, and everything you hear from me is real. It's not made up. It's not, you know, this figure that I play. Like, it's really me. So yeah, that's what I would like people to know. Like, it's real. It's all real.
So I was looking through your Instagram today and obviously saw that you've been doing this for a few years, but
Yeah.
How have you seen like your style and yourself grow over time, and how have you seen your growth kind of affect you as a person and make you kind of the Mance that you are today versus when you started?
Yeah, I think when I first started, it was kind of like, it wasn't as real as it is now because I just had it. It was just me. Like, I knew what I had was dope, but you know, nobody else really knew. So it was like I had to go through that whole process of convincing people, not really convincing, but putting it out there and letting them see for themselves. Because I have a lot of artists hit me up now and they're like, hey man, like, can I get a show, or what do I need to do? Like, I used to be there too. I used to be there sitting there with nothing and wondering how I'm gonna get to the next level. And it's really, you just have to put yourself out there and the people will let you know if it's really that good. So I had to transform from having nothing and to being, yeah, I mean, I feel like my appeal's grown because I go in Sky Bar now and it's like 10 people will come up to me and like, hey man, you performing tonight? And it's like, I don't even know them, you know? I don't even know those people. So I know it's like people watching me that I have no idea who they are and they know who I am. So I've definitely grown as the Mance for sure in that sense of people acknowledging what I do.
And so that kind of brings me into my next question. What kind of advice would you have to somebody who might be like 13, like you said, when you started writing songs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of advice would you give them in order to kind of make themselves either get to where you are or just kind of find their passion in music the way you have?
That's crazy that I can even give advice like that. But yeah, if you're just starting, any advice to any artist, if you're just starting out at like ground zero, I stayed in the studio for 3 years with my buddy from my hometown putting out music. Like, I tried to put out a song a week. So you have to put out content. Like, everyone thinks that they're good at something, but when you put it you give it to the people, are they thinking the same thing you're thinking? Like, are you really that good? You know, and if you're really that good, they'll let you know. They'll come up to you, hey man, that music's fire. I like that music, and that's what I've done. So any artist, put out content and keep putting it out, and until these people realize that you're really doing it and you're here to stay and you're not going to quit, because people like to know that things are going to be consistent before they jump on it. If I think you're going to put out one song and stop, I'm not going to be a fan. But if I know you're going to keep on releasing music, like some of our favorite artists, we're anticipating the next album. So if they know that and you're consistent with it, then, and you're good, you'll get there.